I'm not using that as the intro. I think I'm gonna use that as the intro. I'm not using that as the intro. Is the intro. What you think?
I think since we're the most professional podcast in the world, I think any intro works for us. That's our motto. That's what we live by.
Agreed, 100%. So there we go. That's the intro. Welcome back to the Mixed Report, everyone. As Koa said, the most professional podcast in the world. Here I am with yet another setup. Now different earbuds this time, where the audio is absolutely atrocious and I can barely hear my co-host. But it's fine. We're gonna make things work. We finally have a free day to record again, and coming up soon, I think both of our schedules are gonna actually free up like relatively sooner. So could be pumping out more consistent stuff, but I'm just ready to go off the dome today. Honestly, I've just been waiting to talk sports, and Koa had some good ideas. So I'm ready to see what he has to bring to the table, and I'm ready to just ramble.
Yeah, and adding to those headphones, my setup's kind of looking like booty juice, right now because, it's just a hanger. I mean, it used to be a whole jersey case, but sadly, RIP to the jersey case. And,
True. I witnessed
with
that,
these NBA playoffs
death.
going crazy. Oh, wait, what?
I said I witnessed the death of the jersey case, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was right before the Trevor episode.
I know.
He saw
Sad.
it too.
And I've been trying to find a replacement, and I just can't find one, man. But eventually I'm going to get one. But, with these NBA playoffs going crazy with these Hawks, Trae Young's always up there. But, I had to pull it down to wear it a few times, because that man Trae Young's just different. So.
That ankle looking different, too. Okay, let me chill out. Let me calm down.
Chill.
Let me chill out. That's a little disrespectful on my end. My fault, man.
You're good. It's okay, but don't disrespect Ice Trae, bro.
Anyways.
Don't disrespect. But, like you said, we got some good ideas, so
yes, sir.
We're going to dive into the first part of it, These rookie minicamps, it seems like the NFL's kind of been put on hold because, the NBA playoffs have been going on. That's what everyone's talking about the Suns, about whoever else is dominating the Bucks, blah, blah, blah. But these minicamps are kind of exciting because, there are some rookies that are making a name for themselves in these minicamps, and it gives us a little sneak peek on what to expect for their rookie season. So we're just going to highlight some few guys and what we expect from them, give our little spin like we always do,
So are we only highlighting rookies, or are we also going to be highlighting just players who have had good training camps? Maybe they're on like a new team or what have you?
Oh, yeah, true. Yep.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure because I didn't know it was just going to be rookies. I had to change the game plan.
Yeah. We could do like rookies or like old faces in new places. Like, like anything, we just...
Okay,
it's
cool.
very interesting to see which players are supposedly killing it in training camp, so...
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me
You want to
see.
start it off?
Man,
I could just list off a few, and then we could just focus on whichever ones that... These are just a few that I just saw that I was like, oh, snap. Like, I didn't really realize that these players were actually really doing much. Because some of the names, like, it'll surprise you with the names.
It might. But also, I don't know. I feel like I'd be predicting when players are going to go off, so... Who knows? Mm-hmm. But please start things off. And I have a name to list if you don't bring them up, who I definitely want to talk about. But I'll let you start things off. So
okay, bet. Get ready for the list because I may even name some randoms.
Some
but
default.
Knowing you probably know them. So
yeah,
I'm gonna just throw them out. Okay, so we have the list for the rookies that have been supposedly killing it in the rookie camps. Mac Jones, Greg Newsome II.
Okay.
Alan McNeil.
Okay.
Nick Bolton.
Okay.
Seth. Okay. Let me say Alan McNeil. I think he's a defensive tackle for the Lions.
All right.
I forgot what college he came out of. Nick Bolton is the linebacker for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I forgot what college.
He's a linebacker. I'm like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seth Williams.
Oh, yes, sir.
I think receiver on the Broncos, I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Kyle Trask. Justin Fields. Najee Harris. Kyle Pitts, of course. Rashad Bateman.
Oh, come on.
And Travis Etienne. Those are the list of guys that I got.
Bateman, we already knew. You didn't even have to report that. I wouldn't even need to to see the listing or see the article.
Facts.
I would already know he's just tearing it up. But okay, some interesting names there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie on this one either. I have no idea. I have not been keeping up with Nick Bolton whatsoever. So
I don't blame you, bro. When I saw that McNeil and that Bolton, and even Seth Williams, I was like,
bro, Seth. Okay, nah, Seth Williams. If you watched a lick of college football, you know who Seth Williams is.
Really?
Yeah,
bro. The Broncos may have a really deep receiving core then, man.
Yeah, Seth Williams. I mean, he had the game-winning touchdown catch against, I think it was Justin Herbert's Oregon team, in Justin Herbert's last year. But yeah, so I mean, he's a beast, bro. He's a beast. But I think he got clamped up by J.C. Horn because they had that little SEC matchup going.
That man's nasty, bro.
Yeah, but it's J.C. Horn, and he covered so many good receivers too. So, but yeah, no, Seth Williams is pretty good. I don't know if he's necessarily, or I didn't know if he would be NFL ready because he's kind of a big body receiver. Doesn't really create a lot of separation, but at the same time, that man is huge and he's got hands. He's one of those guys you just like a red zone threat. He's good at that. Like that's his niche that he will at least, you can rely on him to be good in the red zone at any level. So, but I'm glad to hear that he's balling, and the Broncos are good at finding those guys too. Those just big red zone threats.
I mean, facts.
Cortland Sutton, they turned him into just a quality receiver.
They just really suffered at the quarterback position. You know how many years they've had such a great roster, and they just have failed to execute scoring that QB position down, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they could have been contenders, bro.
The Broncos,
Seriously.
to me, are a quarterback away from being contenders, and honestly, with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm, I think they could for sure make the playoffs because we saw what he did with the Saints, and I think this is an arguably better roster than that Saints team. So
I don't know if they make playoffs. The AFC now is probably the new NFC. It's deep, and especially that division. That division's tough.
That's true. They definitely have to get a wild card bid. They wouldn't win the division.
Yeah,
but
they would definitely get like 7th. They would have to get that 7th spot.
I like the Broncos.
They're a tough out. They're a tough out.
Yeah, I could see him being really competitive against anybody. But I am glad to see Seth Williams is having a good minicamp. I would want to see him, at least get some touches. If I'm ever going to be covering like Broncos games or watching any Broncos games, it'd be interesting to see him get in there. Although I just don't know how he's going to see the field with all those receivers ahead of him on the depth chart. So,
yeah, I'm just the main two that really stuck out to me was, of course, the Mac Jones, because I remember once he got drafted, I was like, bro, that's such a perfect fit, and I honestly think that he's going to succeed in New England. I really do picture Mac Jones is going to succeed. And the Greg Newsome pickup, man. I think Greg Newsome.
That's the one corner you loved, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I don't know much of his highlights or film, but when I just look at the physicals, bro, like I think he could be a baller right next to Denzel Ward with that deep secondary. That's a deep, talented team.
I was just not expecting him to go to the Browns. So to see, but I love him on the Browns. That's just a fun defense now.
Yeah, man. They got JOK and they got what other linebacker did they draft? I know you wanted him so bad for Washington, bro.
Yeah, I wanted JOK and every Washington fan wanted JOK. But Jamin Davis, bro, I'm excited for him. I haven't heard anything about Jamin Davis as far as.
Hey, bro, we saw that picture though.
Oh yeah, that boy is. he's built like DK.
Literally,
he's huge.
That's scary.
And he ran a 4.4. Dude's an athletic freak. If Rivera can convert him into just a solid linebacker, like, bro, our defense, top 3, like undeniably top 3, especially if he's a solid, linebacker. But even without that, we still have an insane defense. But okay, so
oh yeah, for sure.
So Seth Williams.
Did I say the name?
What's up?
Did I say the name that you were thinking of?
In general, no, you did not. You did not. And it's funny how I just said DK Metcalf, because let me pull him up. The Senior Bowl GOAT. Not the GOAT, but he had an absolutely insane Senior Bowl. I don't know if I talked to you about him or not, but he's just a very exciting receiving prospect. and now he's on the Seahawks. Dwayne Eskridge is apparently.
I have no idea who.
You don't know who Dwayne Eskridge is? Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, for all the football junkies who are listening to this, they for sure probably know who Dwayne Eskridge is because, I mean, if you watched a lick of the Senior Bowl, this man tore it up. Like, and he came out of nowhere. Honestly, I had no idea who he was until the Senior Bowl either, but it was him and that, I think, Felton, the UCLA running back who converted to receiver. Those two just, like, you know, all the eyes ended up on them because they were just having a killer Senior Bowl. And so I was like, honestly, I don't know what team he could go to that was going to take advantage of his skill set. You know, comparatively to the other receivers at the Senior Bowl, I mean, he was creating so much separation. He just looked like an elite route runner, but I guess he lacks that size that you're maybe looking for in a true number one. So, like I said in the last episode, how we were kind of talking about those complementary receivers, that's Dwayne Eskridge, and like that is Dwayne Eskridge. He's just a complimentary receiver. And now, you know, I think what's his name? I think David Moore, right? He was on the Seahawks. He was their number 3, I believe, behind Lockett and DK. I think he leave, and I think he left in free agency, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he did. Yeah.
So he's on he left for the Panthers. That's right. I remember seeing he was on the Panthers. So I think that's a beautiful replacement for David Moore, and I think he's a better prospect coming out of college as a receiver than David Moore was. So honestly, the Seahawks don't necessarily need receiver behind those two guys that we just mentioned, but I think that's a perfect compliment. You know, if they're kind of keying in, or you're facing a team that has really good top 2 corners, and you're looking to open up the passing game, Dwayne Eskridge is a guy you can kind of move around in the slot. You can have him on some end arounds. I think it's just a fun fit, and I actually do love that pick for them. You know, now that I'm seeing it, it's just I'm excited. I'm excited to watch some Seahawks football in general. I mean, no matter who they pick, because I want to see this dude Russ get an MVP so bad. I'm not gonna lie. He had it last year. He had it. I'm such a Russ fan, dude.
He fumbled it, bro. He fumbled it. I mean, the defense fumbled it for him. But I mean, you know, there's only so much you can do throughout the whole season. But there is a new name for me to keep up with.
Yeah,
the
Dwayne,
NFL season.
bro.
Like, this is the most, I'd say, involved I am like looking into an NFL season, because usually I'm just invested in the Falcons and like the marquee, I guess, storylines to keep up with.
Right.
Even though I do keep up with the NFL, very detailed. Like I keep up with it a lot because I love the NFL, but now it's like a different type of love and passion for keeping up with all the different players and everything that goes along with it.
I'll say ever since I got more invested in like the players coming out of college or just the players in general, it made me want to watch more teams other than Washington. And that to me just made the NFL, it just opened up the horizons of, I mean, first it was fantasy football where you're just watching all the games, you're focusing on your players that you have on your team, but you don't really care about anybody else. But to me, it's like fantasy got to a point where it's just like, you know, I'm tired of just like, you know, looking and banking on an injury or something to make me win the game. Like, it's just, I don't know. I was like realizing like, nah, these players are actually interesting. And once I got into college football, I was already so invested in the NFL. It was dope to see, you know, just names that I recognized in college, you know, and then they get to the NFL scene and they're actually doing good there when no one really knew who they were. And for me, I think a big one was Tariq Cohen when he came out, because he went to like North Carolina, A&T, like nobody knew
HBCU.
who he was. Yeah. So, but I saw his highlight tape on a YouTube video, and I'm like, bro, he is the most shifty player I've ever seen. And I think he went round 5 to the Bears, and then, you know, it's Tariq Cohen. Like,
he cooked us in week 1. That's how, bro, we were the first team that went against Tariq Cohen, bro, and he cooked us. We still won, but geez, bro, that man was a difference maker.
Yeah.
Off rip.
I'm hoping he has a good bounce back season too, because I know he messed up, or he had a pretty bad injury last season.
Yeah.
And then
but speaking of fantasy football, you were talking about, bro, we need to start a league.
Oh,
bro.
yeah. Maybe we should announce
and put money into it and have a whole draft. Pull up in suits at the crib and go crazy.
Dude, facts. God, that would be. I just love fantasy. I mean, to me, every fantasy league I've been in has either not had enough people or has had one or two people just like give up halfway through the season. And then it's like, you know. So I need like I need people who are invested, people who are going to try. So if that's you, if you're listening and that's you, hop on that. I mean, we can have a 12-team league or something crazy. That'd be fun. That would be tons of fun. Yeah, we should for sure make one. Open up the link.
Yeah, bro, I'm down for that any day.
Say less.
That was so much fun.
Bro, fantasy. I think that was the big bridge to getting me into like other teams first. And like I said, maybe knowing more names than just the players on Washington. But it definitely was, I don't know, the watching college football and getting to know different prospects. That's definitely what got me into like, you know, keeping up with players and maybe starting to analyze players, see who's overrated, underrated, not getting enough buzz heading into the draft or heading into the regular season or something. So that's why I said I love preseason, bro. I'll say it again.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. This is the first time I'm saying, bro, yes, preseason. Why is there 3 games, not 4 this time? Like, I'm actually kind of like, dang, I wish there was one more game for me to see these prospects go crazy.
Honestly, I think 3 games is fine just because the 4th games were always for, like, you might see 1 or 2 of the players playing in that 4th preseason game make the active roster while everyone else is looking for, like, a practice squad bid. None of those players really ever get play time in the regular season. But that's what I'm saying. Those first 3 weeks, you know, where the starters are in, maybe like the first quarter, and then you see the backups come in. And it's funny. I know we were talking about this earlier today, or I guess I brought it up. Jacob Eason, that was a prime preseason candidate to maybe, you know, I think he could have been, maybe not could have been, but Dak Prescott made a name for himself in preseason. And, you know, we were talking about training camp reports. This isn't necessarily a training camp report. It was reports coming out of Indianapolis towards the end of the regular season last year saying that Jacob Eason has just impressed. But, you know, obviously they had Phillip Rivers there. They're not going to play him. And now they just traded for Carson Wentz, so we're probably not going to see.
Bro, yeah.
But
I think, honestly, we could do a whole different other like episode on like the upcoming preseason, but this is going to be a very interesting one. You know, like you said, Jacob Eason, and I think a very big storyline too is we have yet to see Jordan Love get any reps.
I know that's
barely any reps.
That's a big one.
Yeah, exactly. So this preseason is going to be very interesting to see. You know, all these different rookies too, because I feel like a lot of people are also invested too, seeing their favorite players on different teams and different college players, you know. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of different faces in different places. So, you know, this preseason, I really think it's going to be a good one too.
Honestly.
I really think it's going to be exciting.
And I actually love that point you made about how even just seeing their favorite players like coming out of college, no matter what team they're on. Like, let's say you're like a Dolphins fan and also a Clemson fan. I don't know who that would ever be, but maybe they want to watch their, Trevor Lawrence, even though it's Jacksonville. So
yeah,
and I know I'll say this now: whatever team Malik Willis ends on, I might just have to become a part-time fan of. I'm not gonna lie. You know how big of a fan I am of Malik, bro.
Bro, you called it before anyone even mentioned his name on any type of mock draft, or not even mock draft, just period. No one ever mentioned Malik Lewis, but you're the one guy. You're like, bro, this man is a highlight mixtape, a highlight reel. Like he has a great chance to be an NFL franchise quarterback.
Bro, he really does.
And you were the first one I called it. You really were.
I was not. I don't say I was the first. Because, I mean, shortly after I posted, I mean, even during the season, people were starting to take note of Malik Willis. It's almost kind of, to me, it kind of resembles Joe Burrow in LSU, where at the start of maybe people would watch Joe Burrow in his second to last season, I guess his redshirt junior year at LSU, and they're like, there's some things here that we like, but I don't think he's proven to be like a first-round pick type of guy. And then obviously that next season, it's like, okay, all those strengths are a lot stronger than we thought. Like, this dude Joe Burrow is something serious. And then he had historically one of the best seasons any college quarterback has ever had. Now, I'm not trying to say Malik Willis is going to be that. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But I think he's in that same area. I guess actually now he is getting first round buzz already, which I love to see.
Yeah.
But I mean, last year when I was watching him, and Liberty I think was like 3-0 or 4-0, and I was tuning into games, and I was seeing the numbers he was putting up. I was like, this dude looks like a first round pick. But everywhere I looked, I would never see his name be like covered by any media analyst or anybody. So I'm just excited, man. I'm honestly just happy that he's getting the recognition because I think more people are gonna watch him and see what he brings to the table. And a very underrated aspect of Malik Willis is his humility and that like natural leadership. Every single post game interview I would watch, because I was watching a lot of Liberty games. I'd see the post game interviews. He would never give himself any credit whatsoever. I remember I showed you that 4th and 3 play where he was rolling out of the pocket and then he just throws it like 50 yards down the field on a dime, perfect to the receiver, like made a nice catch on the sidelines. And I think they asked him about it. He's like, honestly, like, kudos to the defense for pushing me out of the pocket. I was in an uncomfortable situation, and then my receiver just made an incredible catch. I'm like, bro, you just you like give yourself a pat on the back or something. Like, come on.
Bro,
But
that's
no.
honestly one of the greatest throws I've ever seen.
It
Not
was-
even college plays, just greatest
I won't-
throws.
I won't go that far, but it was nasty. That was an NFL throw for sure. And the
Bro,
mobility, too.
That was on a dime, bro.
I'm just excited, man. I just want to see him go to a team that's going to utilize his strengths and maybe not make him want to be, like the savior of the franchise. I think that would ruin a guy like Malik Willis. But you put like just a few pieces around him and you're set. You've set yourself up for success.
Bro,
So-
Malik Lewis to Washington. Start it up right now.
Dude, I wish, man. God, I would. Whew. That's the first jersey I'd be buying in a minute since my Jordan Reed jersey.
Jordan Reed, bro. Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed.
Bro, I remember I wanted an RG3 jersey so bad during his rookie season. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Man, we had so many players that could have been, like, I guess they are technically Washington legends, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like we haven't had that guy in a while. That's like the Washington. He's going to stay in Washington. I think that's Terry McLaurin now, hopefully, or Chase Young on the defensive end. I guess Ryan Kerrigan definitely counts. Or he for sure counts, obviously. But now he's in Philly? Like, bro.
He is in Philly.
That took a hit for me on his legacy in Washington, but
He is in Philly, bro. That's tough.
okay, anyways, we got a little off topic because there's one thing I for sure wanted to talk about with you, and we needed to do a segment on this because I think it could actually be something going forward, maybe a little mini series, not a mini series, but something
Bro, yeah.
we'll cover. And this is power rankings by division, and I already know we disagree on this, and we're always in agreement. We've talked about this. We disagree on this, and I want to cover the NFC South. I want to cover the NFC South, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we already. If you've been listening to the podcast this far, you already know probably where we disagree about this. I mean, I think the consensus number one is Tampa Bay. We already
Yeah,
know. There's no
I mean,
explanations
yeah.
there.
that one, I guess they don't count. Let's talk
Yeah.
about 2, 3, and 4. Tampa Bay is obviously number 1. No.
Do you want to start it off?
Okay, I'll
You wanna
start. I'll
it off?
start.
Yeah.
So for me, number 2 goes to New Orleans. It goes to New Orleans, and let me tell you why. Because I already know this is not your number 2 team, and to me, it baffles me. I see where you're coming from, but just the Saints they still look fine. I know we're talking about Drew Brees and what he did for New Orleans, yada yada. Drew Brees is a legend. Okay, I'm not trying to discredit what he did. He was limited last year. I think everyone knows that. If you watch the Saints play, Drew Brees was not playing like Drew Brees. He had a limited arm. He's always been limited, as far as his mobility and even the accuracy. I mean, it's still Drew Brees accuracy. It's not bad, but he just wasn't himself. And I think he knew that, which is why he retired, even though it took him a while for contemplating. And, everyone was like, come on, Drew, just announce the retirement. But I think Jameis Winston opens up that offense. If he can, let's just keep it a bug. He's going to win the starting job in New Orleans. And
Agreed.
I'm worried about the turnovers, but most of that Saints roster is still kind of intact. I know they lost a few key pieces. I kind of want to pull it up now, actually. Let me see the New Orleans Saints depth chart.
I know they lost Hendrickson.
They did lose Erickson to the or Hendrickson to the Bengals. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But their depth chart to me looks fine. The O-line still looks great, right? You got Teron Armstead, who's just a franchise left tackle, Ramczyk on the other side. Andrews Pete wasn't as bad as he was the year prior. I think him and what's his name? Him and Bowles on the Broncos, to me, just kind of randomly became, like, serviceable out of nowhere on the O-line, which is just weird to me. I feel like O-linemen are relatively consistent throughout their careers. Like, yeah, if you're good, you're good. If you're not good, you're not really going to improve. I don't know. But he was solid. Eric McCoy, not terrible. Like, this is a solid offensive line. Tight end, I know they lost... They lost Jared Cook, right? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, they did lose Jared Cook.
Yeah. Wait, Jared Cook? Yeah, he's on the Chargers now. Yeah, because he replaced Hunter Henry. But the thing is, I mean, you have Michael Thomas coming back from injury. Okay, that's big. You have a healthy Michael Thomas. You still have Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray. You have weapons. And like I said, he has a better O-line. Maybe not a better O-line that he had in Tampa Bay, but he's got more... He's got a better coach. I'll say that. A better coach for him and a better offensive scheme. Because I think, that Tampa Bay scheme, it's just tough. That's why I think they wanted a guy like Brady, because he can just pick up the playbook and it's Tom Brady. He's going to put his team in a position to succeed. I think we've learned that after they won the Super Bowl last year. But I'm just saying, Jameis is going to bring that gunslinger mentality to New Orleans that they haven't seen in forever. And even if it doesn't work as well as I'm anticipating it to work, I just still think they're more proven than the Panthers and the Falcons. So to me, I'm confident at putting them number 2. And that defense still looks solid. I mean, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport is but Cam Jordan, David Onyemata, you got Marshawn Lattimore is still there, who I know can be kind of inconsistent, but the defense still looks solid. Demario Davis, he's kind of resurrected his career there. I don't know. I'm just confident that the Saints are number 2. Number 3, here's where, I'm not going to go with the Falcons. No offense. But I got Carolina at number 3 in my power rankings. And
of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, I am excited for the Sam Darnold, redemption arc. if I say so myself. I don't know. The Panthers offense is very interesting. They still obviously have arguably the best running back in the league still. They have DJ Moore, who I still think is an underrated receiver. And, he still has his weapon, or he got his weapon back that he lost from the Jets, and Robbie Anderson, who's used to playing with them. It is a different scheme, but I don't know. I mean, and obviously that rookie, Terrace Marshall, Panthers had honestly a pretty solid offseason now that I'm looking at it.
Yep. Yep, they did.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard, that's an excellent backup running back. DJ Moore, we talked about David Moore already. Robbie Anderson, Terrace. O-line looks half decent, honestly.
Yeah, could be better.
It's better than the Jets O-line. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And it's like Sam Darnold with weapons. I'm just so interested to see, how he does in regular season. And you even brought it up earlier that apparently he's having a great training camp. Which I do love to hear. The underrated signing of the offseason, Hassan Reddick. Nobody talks about that signing at all. Like, he didn't have 5 sacks in a single game last year, and I don't know. I'm confident that Hassan Reddick can kind of keep that production, because I know we do see one-year wonders at the pass rusher position all the time. Cough, cough, Vic Beasley.
Yeah. Cough, cough, Dante fucking Fowler. But
yeah. I would say that you know your fair share of the one-hit wonders. Yeah. But the defense, it looks like a up and coming defense. To me, it's one of the most underrated defenses going forward in the NFL. But they're just such a young team. I think they kind of lack veterans across everywhere, offense and defense. And I don't know. I'm more confident in the Saints roster given the fact that they have veteran presences, and I like what Jameis brings to that offense. More so, maybe not more so than Sam, but it's just like I think we know what to expect. More so out of the Saints than we do with the Panthers. And they're just, I don't think maybe they are ready to make that next step, but I think they need like another year, one more year, and then they could be the future of the division. But I don't know. I give me the Saints over the Panthers. And then obviously at number 4, we have the Falcons. No offense to your team. I'm not even going to. Not going to pull up the depth chart. I will say I love the Arthur Smith signing. I love Kyle Pitts being there alongside Hayden Hurst with like 2 tight end sets. But Julio's gone now. I know Calvin Ridley is still excellent. You get some pieces coming back on defense. But also you had pieces leave. You know, some of the only proven players on that defense are leaving. And I don't know. I think the Falcons are just kind of stuck in the spot of not yet hitting the rebuild button or the reset button. I think they're still trying to be competitive, and I think honestly, if they don't hit that reset button this year, it has to be next offseason. I think now is the time to take advantage of, you know, the Buccaneers and the Saints are both very old teams. You know, they have a lot of veterans. You know, so they're constantly replacing players. They need to hit that reset button now. But yeah, I just don't think they can compete with the other teams in their division. But this is a very interesting division going forward because I think it is unpredictable. It's just I'm confident in my assessment. I just realized I rambled for so long. But yeah, like I said, I know we for sure disagree on a couple teams, and I do want to hear your explanation as to why, because I don't think I'll necessarily completely disagree. It's just I don't know. I want to hear it.
Okay. So after that whole just terrible take with the Panthers and the Saints, you know, I'm gonna have to pick it apart.
Tough. That's tough.
Okay, it wasn't terrible. There were some very good points, but all in all, you were wrong because at the end of the season, we will see the Panthers have a better record than the New Orleans Saints. I mean, if you want to put all your trust into Jameis Winston, I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's okay. I mean, we already know what he does with crab legs, and you're literally in Louisiana. So, I mean, let's see if he's going to just steal a paycheck from the Saints and not perform. But when I just look at the Saints, I mean, you do make a good point with Drew Brees. He was already on the downside, and, you know, if anything, any quarterback willing to throw down the field more than 30 yards is a W. But am I going to rely on Jameis Winston? I mean, maybe Sean Payton can make something happen. I mean, and I don't even think Winston's going to be the starter, like, off the rip. I think you're going to see some Taysom Hill and you're going to see some Jameis Winston. And I don't even know if it's a for sure gone conclusion because I feel like everybody outside of New Orleans knows that Jameis Winston's the better quarterback, but I think the Saints really want this man Taysom Hill to just be the quarterback for them. I don't know because it made no sense for Taysom Hill to get all those reps.
I will say Sean Payton has an unhealthy obsession with Taysom Hill, and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, and I don't even think it's more so... It's not more so on the Saints underperforming. I think the Panthers are just going to really overperform and shock the world. So, I mean, I do agree with that, but I still don't love their defense. I don't love the Saints defense. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, like you said, if it's not Mike Evans across the field,
Marcus
he's
Williams,
really
bro.
Inconsistent.
Marcus Williams. Let's forget the Minneapolis Miracle
Marshawn
for a second.
Lattimore. Marcus Williams, okay. I mean,
I still
Demario
think
Davis. I mean, their defense. I feel like it's like I see. Like you make good points, but it's like I really think that it's just gonna be the Panthers. I think, like you said, Hassan Riddick alongside with Brian Burns and Derek Brown. That defense is gonna be a force with Jeremy Chin back there. And their secondary, you have J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, who's one of the most underrated corners in the league, and you have AJ Boye too. Like, you got ballers across the board, and granted, they don't have a lot of veterans. I understand that, but sometimes when the team's just young and they're ready to win, and they showed a lot of fight last year. You know how many games were within one possession last year that they could have possibly won? I mean, I think that the Panthers, with Sam Darnold reunited with Robbie Anderson, I know that's not saying much, but at least they have some chemistry. What Matt Rule has done to change the whole culture in Carolina, it's just a different feel. You have a different 1-2 punch now with arguably the best running back in the league, and Hubbard. Really exciting rookie running back. I think you're going to see a new energized Sam Darnold that actually looks around and is like, hey, I actually have weapons to throw to. And you know what? I may not be on top of Brady, but could I get past Matt Ryan and Jameis Winston with these group of guys? I think I could. And you have DJ Moore. You have David Moore. You have Robbie Anderson, your boy Robbie Anderson. And then you have Terrence Marshall. You have weapons. And I think, say what you want, and I know I was saying I don't believe Jameis Winston, and I know it's going to make people feel weird when I say this, but I'm going to put my faith in Sam Darnold. It's not saying much when I compare Sam Darnold and Jameis Winston, but when I look at the situation that Sam Darnold is in, I think his situation, it's maybe he may have better offensive players with Mike Thomas and Alvin Kamara with Winston, but I think the defense is going to really benefit on giving Darnold chances after chances. They're going to create turnovers. They're a very young, exciting team. Trust me, I'm a Falcons fan. I know when you have a young defense excited and they're very talented, you don't necessarily need a bunch of veterans to teach them how to win. I mean, if you got the ballers and you got the talent, your defense will make plays. And I think it won't be the offense to carry the Panthers. It's going to really be the defense. I really see a top 5, top 6 defense for Carolina this year. And then on top of that, I think that their offense with Christian McCaffrey and the really, really good, not great, but really good receivers that they have and weapons all surrounding Darnold, they can make a lot of noise. And people are going to be talking about Sam Darnold and the impressive season. And J.C. Horn's going to be making noise for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay. All right. That's a good take. I will say that is a good take. Where was I going to go? The player I forgot to mention, the first round pick, since we're talking about defensive rookies. And also I wanted to mention, that is a good point with the young defense. I mean, that Jacksonville Jaguars team that went to the AFC Championship, I mean, that was all young guys. And they just had so much talent on that defense, man. They fumbled that bag, bro. Jacksonville, I'm so sorry.
Bro, they should have won.
God, that team was so exciting. You are right. Young, exciting defenses are so much fun to tune into. Why do you think Washington is such a fun defense to look out for? I'm not a biased, person saying that. I mean, it's the same with the Broncos defense to me as well. I think they're very fun. The Panthers, I think they are a very fun young defense. It's just like I said, a lot of these guys were here last year, and I know they added J.C. Horn. I know they added AJ Bouye, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, and Reddick, but Burns, Thompson, Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown, like, they were all there last year and they were all making plays, but the defense itself was not good. Like, it just objectively was not good. Even with all those individual standout players, it just didn't mesh well. And that was something I meant to say, as well as a very underrated first-round pick defensively for the Saints. I know I said Marcus Davenport because I'm looking at ESPN's busted depth chart that is not accurate ever. And the guy who I was looking for was Peyton Turner. Peyton Turner, to me, I think Jalen Phillips was getting all the hype as that edge rusher, as the number one edge rusher, and it was deservedly so. I mean, he was, to me, the clear-cut number one, and the Dolphins got him and Jalen Waddle. Like I said, we've talked about it before. We had a whole podcast episode on it. Absolute steal. But to me, Peyton Turner is a very intriguing prospect. I mean, there's a reason that he went in the first round to begin with. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, you were there. We watched the draft together. I didn't really know who he was during the draft. I mean, I'd heard his name, I'd seen some highlights, but I didn't really go and watch tape. But I mean, there were times where he would just put the Houston defense on his back, and he, to me, and shout out to Brett Coleman once again. I have to show him love every time I get on the mic. He talked about him too, and he and who's the guy the Buccaneers took at the end of round 1, which was just an absolute. I mean, they're just piling onto that defense.
Oh, I forgot his name.
I know, I can't remember it. I mean, this is off the dome, y'all. So if we're sounding professional, I mean, if we're sounding too professional, you guys know.
Joe Tryon.
Joe Tryon, there you go. Yeah, so it was him and Tryon and Peyton Turner were his top 3 edge rush, like set in stone pass rushers. And that's kind of something, I think they took a flyer on Davenport. He wasn't necessarily a bust, but he's not some guy you can look to maybe start on that defensive line as a full-time player. Peyton Turner might be different. You know, I think it's another shot, but I think he's more proven than Davenport. He comes out of a better school. He played better competition than Davenport did. I think not UTEP. Was it UTEP? UTSA? Let me see. Yeah, it was UTSA. Okay, so I got that right. And like I said, I think he's just a better prospect. I think he's going to be the day one, if not day one starter. He's going to be starting there eventually alongside Cameron Jordan on the D-line. And I think you're not giving the Saints defense enough credit. I mean, they still have Malcolm Jenkins, who's not nearly as good as he used to be, especially since he left Philly. But he's a more than capable safety paired along with Marcus Williams, who also gets disrespected for the Minneapolis Miracle, which is honestly pretty fair, you know. But it's a relatively consistent, you know what you're getting out of the Saints defense. You know, they're definitely more proven than the Panthers' very young defense. And while I think the Panthers have potential to be the better defense, even one of the better defenses in the league, like I said, I think they're just a year away. Now, we come back to this conversation next year. I think I'm giving the Panthers a lot more wins. But I think this is that experimental year where you kind of get a glimpse into the future of what they can be. But they might drop some games, and they might have weeks where they're not really looking like the most ready team. Or they might have some youth problems. But I don't know. That's just my main reasoning. I think that's a better take than what I was saying earlier.
Okay. I will say that the Saints, being in the NFC South, the one thing that makes the Saints defense so elite is their D-line. So what was his name again? I'm sorry.
Who
not Davenport, because I'm not a Davenport guy. I mean, the Saints drafted. They traded up for him. Yeah, and he just hasn't performed.
They did. It was Peyton Turner out of Houston.
Yeah. Peyton Turner. If Peyton Turner can give similar production to who was playing alongside Hendrickson? Yeah. What Hendrickson was giving them, which he was only like the pass rusher. He's not really in the run stopping. But if he can create havoc with Cam Jordan, I really do like the Saints defense. But one thing I realized is if the Saints defense if the D line isn't really like dominating like they usually do, then the defense is kind of suspect. Kind of.
Whatever you say, man. You're talking about that, but the Panthers defense was like bottom 10 last year.
Bro, it's up and coming. Watch.
Yeah, it's up and coming, but when are they going to get there, though?
With Derek Brown, another year with Derek Brown and Brian Burns and Hassan Riddick. Watch.
I am excited, bro.
And those 3 corners, not even AJ Boye. It's just going to be J.C. Horn and Dante Jackson.
Yeah. God, that's a good look. I will say the NFL will be more fun if this team is second behind the Buccaneers. Because I think this is a much more interesting team to watch than the Saints. It's just, I don't know.
They are much more interesting.
It's just,
and I love Kamara. I love Kamara. Fuck the Saints, but I love Kamara. But and also I don't like Mike Thomas either. I really don't. He cries a lot. But
everyone hates Michael Thomas, man.
Yeah, slam boy.
My boy's an Ohio State fan, and he hates Michael Thomas. So that's how you know.
Tough.
It is tough. It's quite tough. But yeah, honestly, we can call it an episode right here. I feel we've been going
Yeah.
on for. I love hitting that 1 hour mark because it is so satisfying. But I'm gonna give myself a nice editor's break and actually be able to render this video without it crashing my computer, as it takes 3 hours to render. That's another thing, guys. I've been waiting on this computer to come in. I ordered it May 8th. I think it was before right after we even started the podcast. I ordered. I'm like, let's go. I'm gonna be able to pump out content, maybe branch out of my, because the podcast is something I want to keep doing, but I've also just loved getting into the idea of content creation, and having a good computer like that will not only allow me to render videos out like this. I can also have this at my dad's house. I got a dope setup. My camera, the visuals are going to be looking so much better. I'm just, there's nothing I can do. I'm still waiting. But I'm excited for that, man. I'm telling you, I have some stuff up my sleeve. I'm going to be dropping some fire. I'm telling you right now. But for now, I just got to be patient, and I got to stick with this setup and these off the dome takes.
Bro, honestly, if I get this new job, if I do, I'm gonna save so much bread and try to get a PC ASAP.
I'm telling you, man.
That's got to be my next investment.
Yeah, and I'm excited for what I'm gonna be capable of doing. I mean, I have potential guests that I can bring on, where I'd probably rather have a better setup, and I could even branch out from the podcast. I know, but for those of you who are only watching this for the podcast, that's still going to be something that's going to be like, just better in general. But
oh yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's just like I cannot wait to have an official setup, be able to sit down and actually be professional. I know we've made that joke a ton of times, but it'll be more fun. I think it's going to be a more enjoyable listening experience for you guys as well. But for those of you who are still tuning in and you still like what we're saying, thank you. It's just, it'll be better for y'all. I promise. It's going to get better.
Facts, yeah.
And for those of y'all who are like, you guys have potential, but like the setup is trash, we got y'all too. It's coming soon.
Facts.
We got y'all too. Don't worry.
Dude, I don't think they're ready. Give it like I know a couple months sounds very far, but it'll be here before you guys know it. And just watch. The transition's going to look so crazy, bro. Watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm excited.
Let's go, man. Let's go. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna get into that spiel of being thankful again. We've done it every episode, so I'm gonna be cool this time. But I will keep it generic. Thanks again, for y'all who are still watching or still listening this far in. And yeah, the feedback, keep it coming. Please. It's so invaluable to me because I am a perfectionist, right? You hear me complaining about the setup all the time. I want to know. I want to know the opinion. I want to get the feedback. So please, if there's a complaint, if there's something that you'd like to see us improve on, do better, let us know, because I'm really trying to make the best content. And I told Koa this before I started. I wouldn't be doing this if I was making stuff that I myself wouldn't want to like play back and listen to. And so, after I've done every single episode, when I'm done editing, I can go back and I can listen to what I created and watch it and be kind of proud of the work and actually be like, you know what, I watched this full hour and a half long mock draft, and actually it was kind of fun.
Bro, the mock draft was probably my favorite one to listen back on. That's probably my favorite one.
I was so entertaining. I think it's probably my favorite because it was the first time I actually like made something, and I was like, I'm actually listening back, I'm not as bad as this as I thought I would be, given my first episode. But
facts.
Yeah, so like I said, I wouldn't be doing this if I was just like looking to gain popularity on, covering sports or, making outlandish takes to have people make fun of me. It's like I'm actually doing this because I want to make stuff that is entertaining and that people can listen to and maybe like agree or, just start discussions in people's friend groups, stuff like that. So
facts.
Yeah, so that's what I'm just saying. Feedback is key because I'm trying to make the best stuff possible, not only for you guys, but for myself. And it's invaluable. I'll cut it at that. I go on my rants and I can't stop myself. But
No, bro, you're good.
all right. But anything else you wanted to say before we get out of here, Cole?
Only thing I'll say is thank you guys for listening. I'm not gonna go on the whole spiel like we always do because it's always too much. But
Get all sappy.
I do also want to say that we're gonna be more consistent with putting out videos, and hopefully, if we both get on the same schedule, maybe we could go for like a weekly day
Yes,
that
sir.
we're both gonna be free on, and
That'll
we can
be
do that.
huge.
And also, we're gonna try to bring on some special guests. So keep in mind, we're gonna try to bring in some different segments like with the division power rankings, and we're going to keep it not only with us inform you guys but also keep it entertaining and keep you guys on your toes for different stuff for you guys to keep up with, so it's not the same old thing all the time, so you guys also get a little bit more entertainment. But that's basically it. Keep aside the scoop of what else is going to come. And also the Instagram is going to be much more active than it was before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can help out with that too. In case y'all didn't know, Ko is basically running that Instagram, so I can kind of help him out a little bit with that. But yeah, so thanks again, y'all. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. If you like what we're doing and want to see if, maybe your friends or people in your family who are also into sports would want to, if you're genuinely enjoying this, give them something to check out too. But yeah, with that being said, thanks again. That is the mix. That's not going to be the outro. But thanks again. We'll see you guys next time.